What's up, guys? It's Ryan here with Eastcoastathletics, and I know you guys saw the thumbnail, so you know what we're gonna be talking about tonight. So, I did a live stream, not a live stream, I actually did a video, I think maybe like a year and a half ago, talking about hydration and the importance of hydration towards athletes or towards training, because it is important to training and competition. I mean, in general, hydration is very important because as a human being, you need to stay hydrated um, to help with your your natural body cycle. But today I wanted to talk about what should track and field athletes eat, right? Because over the past, I'm gonna say 5 years, I've noticed that a lot of athletes are not eating properly, and that leads to a lot of little things that they don't even notice that it contribute to those things. Um, um, Inefficiency in training. So because they don't eat properly, they're not able to practice or train to the best of their ability, right? Also, it kind of stun their development, where they're not able to get the best out of, say, a gym workout, because again, they're not eating properly. So when they go to the gym, they don't have enough energy to get the full workout in, so they tend to cut the workout short or do just some of it, just because they don't have the amount of energy that they need to complete the workout. And someone told me that it all depends on the time you train, which I think, yes, is important. But regardless of the time of day that you practice, once you have good eating habits and you're eating the right type of food, then you shouldn't have a problem when it comes to having sufficient energy for your workouts. So what should athletes eat really? I was hoping that someone would come in and tell me what athletes should eat, because I think everyone have a different opinion. Hey, everyone have a different opinion on what athletes should eat. What? They should eat goat? Come on now, be realistic. What should athletes eat? I mean, as I said, everyone have their own opinion on what the perfect diet is, or the type of food that athletes should actually eat. Well, plantains. Well, that's something that I'm going to talk about a little bit later, as it relates to what Jamaican athletes eat compared to what I've seen a lot of American athletes eat. But before I even get into that, personally, I think that you should have, as an athlete, you should strive to eat 3 solid meals a day, just like everyone else, right? But a lot of athletes don't seem to realize that the main meal of the day is their breakfast, and that their breakfast is very important, right? You have to eat a solid breakfast in order to be able to last throughout the day. If you don't eat a solid breakfast, then you're gonna find yourself running out of energy throughout the day, right? So you have to, that breakfast have to be, super heavy, in my opinion, because that's the first meal of the day, and that's the meal that's gonna carry you all throughout the day. Yeah, you might eat something, at lunchtime, but for athletes who, I'm gonna say, they practice at 3 or 4, if you eat a really big meal at 12 or 1 o'clock, I can't sawfish. That's what the Jamaican athletes might eat. Not so much American, unless you're a Jamaican. I'm gonna use that term. You're in America, but you're Jamaican. But yeah, if you decide to eat a heavy meal at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock and you practice, okay, if you eat that heavy meal and you practice at 2:30 or 3, you're gonna, either you're gonna, if the practice is really hard, you're gonna end up throwing up at practice, or you're gonna be uneasy because of all that food in your stomach. Because you say American eat chicken and green bean 24/7. Well, see, I can only speak on what I've seen, and I feel like every culture is different, and in this culture, the American culture, it's more so pancakes in the morning, pancakes and eggs with bacon. That's breakfast, a typical American breakfast. But in my opinion, that is a light breakfast. Not that's what I'm trying to explain right now, Mr. Lawrence. What I know, what I know to be a good American breakfast is pancakes with eggs, maybe hash browns, French toast, pancakes, stuff like that. Yes, it's carbs, but at the same time, is it sufficient to take you through the day? Yeah, pancake, waffles, hash browns, stuff like that. It is carbs, but is it sufficient to take you throughout the day? Is it good enough to last? Because for me personally, oatmeal is good, right? Fruits is good, but in what proportion do you eat those meals? If, for me personally, if I eat a heavy breakfast, chances are I really don't need to eat lunch. Might just have a snack, maybe a fruit or something like that, but I really don't need to eat lunch. My next, main meal or big meal would be dinner, right? Because you have to eat a heavy or healthy meal after you work out, right? Because you have a certain window where your body absorb nutrients after your workout. So I would say after your workout, you need to eat something solid. You need to eat a good meal, as well as drink liquid to replenish what you've lost in terms of like electrolytes and simple sugars. But I really feel like a lot of the athletes here, they don't eat properly, and with so many fast food restaurants around, like, I really think there's no motivation for them to, take the time out to, say, okay, all right, I'm gonna eat healthy today, or I'm gonna try to, prepare a good breakfast. It's easy just to say, all right, I'm gonna go to McDonald's and I'm gonna pick up um a egg and cheese sandwich or something, simple, and that's breakfast. But at the end of the day, that's not gonna provide them with the proper nutrients to sustain them throughout the day, right? And in all honesty, how many household here in America cook on a regular, right? So I mean, as I said, it's I feel like when it comes to eating properly as an athlete, you have to really hone in on what you need to do and what you need to eat. What will provide the right nutrients for you as an athlete compared to just eating a big meal because okay, breakfast is supposed to be the biggest meal, so you eat a heavy breakfast. Yeah, I do eat a heavy breakfast, but what do I eat? All right, I'm not eating like 6 or 7 pancakes and eggs and bacon and all that stuff. I'm not going high up and say, oh, I'm gonna get a big breakfast. No, that's, as I said, a lot of it is cultural. That's not what I'm used to. Being a healthy breakfast. I'm Jamaican, and I think when it comes to stuff like this, I might be a little bit biased, and I can admit it, because I'm gonna gravitate a little bit more to what I'm used to. And I think that's normal for just about anyone. But at the end of the day, when you really look at the facts, what type of food provide more nutrients? Is it greens with banana and yams and stuff like that, or is it a McGriddle from McDonald's? Which one has more nutrients? Which one provides an athlete with more energy? Bottom line. Well, again, it boils down to which one has more nutrients and which one is healthier. That's how I pretty much eat. Yeah, but see, yams, American yams and Caribbean yams are two different yams. Right? So as I said, a lot of the stuff is cultural. I have a friend, he's African, and he eats, I must say he eats similar stuff to Jamaican meals, but it's prepared different. So, and based on, talking to him about how they prepare their food and stuff like that, I must say I would gravitate more towards that type of diet than the typical American type diet. That's just what I think. But it's a peculiar one where everyone is gonna have their own, own take, own opinion. Soup is good. Soup is good, but the type of soup. As I said, a lot of the stuff that I'm used to is more cultural. well, that's fruits. Fruits are also good, and that's the thing. A lot of people don't. They don't eat fruits. They don't eat. I'm gonna say. All right. The simplest way for me to put it. A lot of people here they eat for taste compared to eating for nutrition, and I find that a lot. If say for example lettuce and tomato and broccoli and stuff like that, those are vegetables which are very important to any diet, not just as an athlete, but I find that not a lot of people like eating those stuff because it don't taste very well to them, right? They might eat it on a Big Mac because it tastes good on a Big Mac, but just the vegetables by themselves, nah, they don't seem to, be interested in eating vegetables or greens or, fish. And at the same time, too, again, it has a lot to do with the culture and society because a lot of the stuff that is better or would be recommended for an individual, whether whether the person is an athlete or not, to eat, they're more expensive. So not everyone has the money to go to Whole Food to shop. They're just gonna go to Walmart or Shoppers or any one of those stores and just get their stuff there. They're not gonna make that extra effort to get organic stuff, right? And then I was recently informed that cheese isn't really good for athletes. Don't quote me on this. Don't quote me on this because I didn't really get the time to, research into it. But the person who told me, I trust that what they're saying is very credible. So that's the reason why I'm even, sharing it. All right. True. All right. So a part of the title did state what does Jamaican athletes eat? Because for the longest time, everyone has been saying that the reason why Jamaican athletes run so fast is because they be eating yams and plantains and all these Jamaican dishes. I cannot disagree, but at the same time, I can totally agree because I don't think all their performance come from the food. I think some of it really do because the way they prepare food there, or they grow their vegetables or fruits, is completely different from how they do it here. And by me saying that, I'm trying to say it's two different populations. One is really, really bigger, right? So in order to feed that population, everything has to be mass produced, right? In Jamaica, yes, there's mass production, but that production comes from several different farmers who pool together, in a sense. I'm gonna say pool together because you might have farmer A supplying 5 tons, the other farmer supplying another 5 tons, and everything together might equate to, like, just say 20 tons. to feed the population compared to one company supplying 200 tons of one, type of food. So you find that when you're trying to mass produce certain foods to feed a large population, the process of, you know growing that food has to be sped up. So instead of allowing the crops to grow, I'm gonna say, just example, 6 months, they have to speed the process up in order to, you know to get more crops faster to feed, a bigger population. Or even if they don't speed up the process, or they can't speed up the process, they have to use some form of insecticides or whatever to make sure that they are able to get more fruits or more vegetables from, you know from the trees or the set of crops that they have, compared to if they didn't use, any pesticides, or a lot of people might call it chemicals, which are not healthy, right? While in Jamaica, it's completely different, where majority of the stuff, is grown naturally. So you tend to get more nutrients from those plants, those fruits, vegetables, whatever you eat. You tend to get more nutrients, from those. And a lot of times they tend to taste a little bit better. Not always, but sometimes. Sometimes the taste here and there remain the same, or, wherever else in the world that they might, grow the same fruits or vegetables. So, that's something that I think, does play a factor. So what do Jamaican athletes, track athletes, eat? Pretty much the same thing as the ones here. I don't think they eat McDonald's, because they don't have McDonald's in Jamaica for sure. And I don't think they really eat like burgers and stuff like that. They don't eat pancakes. Well, there is pancakes there, but it's not like a regular breakfast food. As I said before, breakfast food is like maybe ackee and saltfish with boiled banana and dumplings and yams, or kalaloo with saltfish with the same boiled banana and yams, or you might have fried dumpling, with ackee and saltfish with plantains or so forth. Those are the type of stuff that Jamaican athletes, I would assume, eat for breakfast, because when I was there, those are the stuff that I always want to eat. And not to mention porridge. Jamaican athletes, track athletes, drink a lot of porridge. Hi, Patula. They drink a whole lot of porridge, because I remember when I was in high school, every single morning when I come through the school gate, all the athletes have to go to a specific area where we get a bowl of cornmeal or oatmeal porridge every single morning, regardless of whether you eat breakfast at home or not. You are provided, that bowl of porridge every morning, right? And I think we can all agree that oatmeal is good. So we used to have to, drink a bowl of oatmeal porridge every morning, even when you don't want to, because they kind of stand over you and kind of like force you to to drink it because they want you to get, that nutrients. But when it comes to like professional athletes, I think you're a professional, so you should try to make sure whatever you're putting in your body is has sufficient energy to help you with whatever task you're about to take on, whether it's going to the gym or getting your track work done. So I think that is your responsibility. And even as a college athlete, I mean, I've seen a lot of college athletes here. They eat really horrible. Like they be drinking frappe and all that stuff. They love that McDonald's stuff, which I think doesn't help. Anything with with a high amount of milk to me is just that's lactic food, lactic acid food. That's my opinion though. But a lot of athletes they really don't care about what they eat, and they don't really see the importance of eating the right food until it get to a point where it start affecting them, where they might be cramping up, in practice. Then they realize, oh, my liquid intake, is low, or I don't have the right, vitamins and minerals in my diet, stuff like that. Or they're throwing up because they ate too close to practice, or they simply didn't eat enough to provide them with the necessary energy to go through the practice session. So sometimes their blood sugar level will drop. They might, feel dizzy, blackout or something. That's when they really realize, oh, I didn't eat properly today. But that should be something that all athletes pay attention to: what they eat, the time that they eat relative to practice, right? Because a lot of athletes practice in the morning. So if you practice in the morning, there's no way you're gonna, wake up and go eat a big old breakfast right before you go to the track. If you practice at, say, at 9 o'clock, you can't do that. That doesn't make sense, right? But if you practice later on in the day, then I would say, a good sized breakfast, a healthy breakfast, is something that you definitely should, try to consume every single morning. If you practice at 9, as I said, a small pack of oatmeal will be fine. That should be able to, last you throughout the morning practice, and then afterwards, you eat something heavier. Because with the morning practice, you kind of have to move things around based on the time that you practice. So that's something that you would have to take into consideration with that specific scenario or situation. But if you practice in the evening, yeah, you have to eat a big breakfast, and you have to remember, I didn't say you should. I say you have to, meaning it's something that you must do. If you don't drink enough liquid and you don't eat a good breakfast, you're gonna be in trouble. You're gonna be in trouble because you're gonna find yourself doing your workout without enough energy. And then you're gonna be wondering what is going on. Or you're gonna start cramping up to the latter part of your workout, like I used to do, And then I started wondering, like, why am I cramping up? I don't understand. I drank a lot of water. Why am I cramping? But then I wasn't eating no fruits or anything like that at that point in time. And as soon as I started, then eventually the cramps started going away. So I really urge all athletes to pay attention to what they eat. And just so you guys know, that was just a thumbnail, because I know a lot of people might see it and be like, oh, he's Jamaican, so he's trying to say Jamaicans eat healthy and Americans don't. Not entirely, because a lot of Americans do eat healthy, but it's hard for me not to assume that a lot of athletes do eat unhealthy when I've seen it with my own two eyes, as well as the fact that there's a McDonald's on every corner, right? So why wouldn't I assume that when I've seen it so many times? McDonald's, Burger King, but again, that was just a thumbnail. I really think athletes on a whole, whether you're a Jamaican, American, Guyanese, Ghanaian, wherever in the world you're from, my main point is eating healthy is very important. And you need to eat a solid breakfast every single morning, because it's very crucial to providing you with adequate energy for your practice session on a daily basis. So if you don't take anything else away from this video or this live stream, that's one thing you should definitely remember. Breakfast is important. A lot of us don't eat breakfast. And no, it's not the Rona. So, guys, I think I'm going to end this live stream right here. If anyone has any comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. If you like the live stream, leave a thumbs up. All right, so Miss Patula wants to know what a good breakfast would be. I would say, you want me to tell you the type of food, or you want me to give you proportion of the nutrients that you need? Oatmeal is good. Any type of porridge, in my opinion, is good. All right, I'm gonna say greens, you have to have protein. So I'm gonna say you could do callaloo and saltfish with yam and banana. Or I mean, I don't eat ackee, so, but for you guys who do eat ackee, that's something that you could definitely eat in the morning. Ackee and saltfish with boiled banana dumpling, and then you could have a small bowl of fruits as well, because as I said, you need your vitamin C, which you'll get from oranges and apples and stuff like that. Yeah, as long as you're getting your fruits in the morning and you're getting your carbs and your protein, you should be perfectly fine. Yeah, callaloo is pretty good. You could eat You could even eat chicken and boiled banana with yam. You could do that too. Cause they, Petula, you're Jamaican. They do that in Jamaica. But as I said, you have to balance it. You gotta have your fruits. Or if you want to do oatmeal, you could do oatmeal and still do your fruits. Because the oatmeal is your carbs. And you still do your fruits. So you're still covered. Just not a small pack of oatmeal, because remember, you're eating a meal that is supposed to last you throughout the day. At least bring you a little bit past lunchtime, where you could just snack on something at lunch and you're still good to go. You know, so yeah, that's pretty much what I think, a good breakfast is. But as I said, feel free to leave a thumbs up. Any question, leave them down below. And until next time, guys, it's your boy Ryan here with East Coast Athletics, signing out.